Target slash Mechanical Man. Why does this song have two names? It has two names because the original name of the track that I wrote down was Target. Why did I name the song Target when I clearly have a voice sample in it that says, I'm a mechanical man? I named it that because originally that song was written for the teaser at the end of Command & Conquer that is supposed to, allude to what Tiberian Sun would be. And you see this video, all it is a video of this mech walking around, and then you see from within the cockpit of it, and it's targeting things. And I believe that the original temporary name for this video was actually called Target. So I had a tendency to name things after other assets in the game, particularly videos, and that was sort of how that naming came about, but also that was what the song was originally written for. So it wasn't that long either. It was only as long as that teaser video was. So because of that, when my auto director heard it, he said, "This is actually a really cool tune." He's like, "You should like make this into a full-length theme, and we'll put it in the game." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I stretched it out and added some parts, and that track definitely has some Nine Inch Nails inspiration in it. I was just having fun with the synth sounds, sort of that, filtered, almost vocoded sound on the main melody. It was really about that drum sound, though. I loved the drum sound on that, and it sounded similar to something I had heard, just overly compressed and pushed, saturated, that kind of thing. That arpeggiated bass was, sort of the driving part of that, because I could take the drum beat and I could do it in halftime, which means just, cutting the time in half. So instead of it's, and I thought that was fun to play with that dynamic within the song. Keep that arpeggiated feel going on, but then just play with the drum timing of it. And then of course, the main hook is that melody that comes in, and then I had fun just playing around with sound effects and voice samples again. And this one was me actually in the microphone saying, "I am a mechanical man." I'd heard that from somewhere, and I don't know where it actually came from. And originally, movie quote I heard it in or something, most likely. But anyhow, I sampled myself saying that and put it in there, and I had these just kind of weird sound effects that I was playing with rhythmically that, kind of added this industrial, feel to it as well. The thing, though, is that it ended up being called Mechanical Man or Mech Man, as some people referred it to. A lot of times, the original names of the songs that I'd chosen would get renamed in the game. And I don't know if that was a disconnect because I wrote it down on a DAT tape and then basically handed it off to be turned into a WAV file and then put in the game. And maybe it was because I wasn't paying enough mind to the naming of some of these songs. Maybe I just wrote down the first thing that came to mind, or named it after another asset, or just to have a reference to say this is what this song is. And because we recorded everything to DAT tapes, as the main mix at that time, I hand wrote down everything on these tapes so that I could know which track was what. And also it had to do with my session name too. I was working in Cubase. I would save my sessions. I would name them after the same name so that I could keep track of what's what. And I also had to write down the mixer settings, because dealing with an analog mixer that doesn't have digital full recall at that time. So if I had to go back and change something in the mix, I had to write all of that down too. And I basically had a sheet of paper that simulated all the knobs that was on this mixer, and I would just notch everything. Volumes here, volumes there on that track, and panning here, and the EQ is set to this. So it was quite a bit more to keep track of in a very analog way back in that day. So there you go. That is the story of Target / Mechanical Man.